election, that'd be great to get a former NFL player. Yes, that would bring some reputation to the city.
All right.
Second question
You know he can run.
I'm sorry?
You know he can run.
I know, exactly. He probably can. Second question, or my question is, back in your playing days, did you ever see Jerry Rice's dick? Is it big?
Well, okay.
Well,
I mean, was it nice size or?
Well,
live television, folks, coming to you here from Joe's Bunker.
Now, here we go. Let me ask you that. Now, okay. Now, all these things that you're claiming you're going to try to do, right? I know, they get you.
That's awesome.
I know. That happens. Those are usually college kids over there.
There you go.
Okay. Now, how you going to make a pedestrian-friendly, energized city? How are you going to make it pedestrian-friendly?
Well, pedestrian-friendly involves several things.
You're going to get everybody out motorized wheelchair? Or what are you going to?
No, pedestrian. Well, those that can walk. I'm not. I can't make claims to those that are in wheelchairs.
Right.
I'm not going to go there. Pedestrian-friendly means, for those that are in wheelchairs, you're not going to get stuck on the sidewalk. You're not going to have these strange navigation routes. So that means fixing the sidewalks. That means closing certain streets down on the weekends to allow people to walk.
But don't you already do that so they get federal money?
No.
I thought they lowered the sidewalks so they were handicapped. They had to make it under something.
Oh, no, I'm talking about, for example, like Beaver Street between Market and Philadelphia.
Why
like
that on Beaver Street?
Well, because they've already kind of started that. That's where the ball is rolling. That's where it's at. It'd be too difficult to kind of pick it up and do it somewhere else. It's appropriate. You got the art galleries. So if we close down those streets, it creates a walking environment. It creates a place where you're not dodging cars. Some of the restaurants can extend their offering out to the sidewalks without the exhaust, without the noise, and really turn it back into a real city, especially right down in that corridor where they've really, they didn't do it right, but they really did put a lot of money there. And the difference is that I'm going to come in there and make it work. The Arts District must become functional, otherwise everything that they've been doing has been a waste. So an energized city means that when you come downtown, there's things for you to do.
Like what?
Well, let's get some musicians down here. One of the things, I throw this out there. This is whether you think it's a crazy idea or not, but here we go, crazy idea. Down in Baltimore, everybody wears purple on Fridays. Okay, they show their support for the Ravens.
Well, that's a Christian thing.
Well, but for the Ravens, they do it. So there's more than that. Okay, I'm talking Baltimore.
You're talking about Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of people here have moved up from Maryland, so they understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
But when you look back at the history of York, what I see is the common denominator between all of us, just simple math. What do we all have in common? Either you were in the military or the person next to you was. So I think that if you look at the memorials and you look at the history of this city, that the city and the county, the military service is one of the greatest things. I'm willing to bet that if you did the research, you'll find more military service here than in other areas. So what I'd like to do is
What if you're wrong?
Well, if I'm wrong, then we're still going to try this idea because I think it sounds good.
Okay,
We're going to do what's called, in my mind, Friday fatigues, where if you want to wear camouflage in the city, I'm not talking, the full suit, but just maybe the hat that says Marine Corps, or just something that shows the support of those. Something that you were talking about before with the Vietnam vets coming back where they weren't treated well. We've got plenty of young men and women coming back from the sandbox now that we need to embrace and support.
Well, where would they get all these outfits? The Army and Navy store or something?
Well, yeah. Well, you can get anywhere. I mean, there's all sorts of clothing out there. And so really just to make it a military-centric type of promotion where we celebrate the sacrifices that have been made.
But what's going to be the benefit of that?
Pride. We're going to abate the apathy that exists among the youth.
And how long are they going to wear these clothing?
Just on Fridays.
Just on Friday?
Just on Fridays.
Then everybody can say, oh, you're...
Well, you can go back to being depressed on Saturday, but at least on Fridays everybody's going to be happy. So we have to start somewhere, because last week I went and I sat at the corner of Penn Park and I watched William Penn High School let out.
Okay.
And I looked at the kids and I said, where's their inspiration? What is there for them to do right now? There's nothing. Right. And we've got to give them something to look up to and something to look forward to.
Well, let me say, okay, when you say there's nothing for them to do, they go speeding the car up and down the circuit, they got that. They can race their cars and try to see if the cops can catch them. And they go speeding. Then they got Penn Park.
Penn Park.
They
We got to
play
do something with
basketball.
Penn Park.
What, like what?
What basketball at Penn Park?
No, they took it away?
Yeah, have you seen the tennis? They got tennis courts, but the gates are locked.
I don't go over there. I ain't risking my life.
I think there's a lot that we can do in Penn Park. In fact, I think Penn Park is, it's a gem that we got to dust off and we got to put it back to use. It's right there in the middle of the city. Penn Park is something I want to see happen.
They got Martin Luther King's Park down on Penn Street.
Mm-hmm. You've got a lot of memorials around the city to celebrate also.
Yeah, I tell everybody about Line 1. I tell everybody about Martin Luther King down there. See, people don't realize years ago when it was first opened, it was my band that played, and then we had Mrs. King up here to dedicate that sermon. Nice. I had a band. I used to be a rock and roll musician back in the day.
What'd you play?
Guitar.
There you go.
The guitar was known as J.J. Jackson of Soul Sonic. A lot of my guys are still around here. We almost had a recording contract with RCA Records. We was going big. We was supposed to be on American Bandstand with LaBelle and them.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It was going around. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of them got, then they started getting the drugs I got away from.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is, these are things that I'm looking at what we can do. I know that, you know, now most of the city is pushing the ice skating ring and not over there. Well, most of the city don't even use it anyway.
Memorial Park?
Yeah. Now, I had an ideas that I told everyone. I like to see them. You know, I went over to Harrisburg, and I grew up mostly in Harrisburg, so I know that island over there. Before there was even a baseball field, we used to play ball. We actually made the field before they ever started doing that. It was always full of snakes over there, by the way. I used to swim at the beach house over there.
Snakes.
And, oh yeah, it still is. You go out there, you look around, they're all over the place there.
I'll take your word for that.
All right. But I was over there recently, and I was just seeing how they had really made an income out of that. They did a wonderful job, and I saw some potential that the city could do here. If you went around it, and now they actually they got their ballpark, but they also got a tennis park next to that. Okay, that's sort of potential down they could do here.
You're talking Memorial Park over there? Or
no, City Island.
Oh,
City
okay.
Island. They could do well. Yeah, this new
Right.
stadium they got here. There's a potential there. I would like to see, a train go all the way around that park down here in York.
It's funny you mention that because you're talking like the open air trolley kind of thing.
Yeah, but now, see, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I was a part of a group that was supposed to be bringing an old train from Baltimore up.
Yes.
We're going to put it right down by the park.
I like that.
We're down in town to restore it, and we're going to be painting it all up because that's the same train that fell through when Eisenhower was elected.
Wow.
And it fell through the building, and what they did, they put planks over because they had the president.
Right, they just buried it, right.
Yeah.
And then they recovered the train, right. I heard about that,
right.
and I look forward to that.
Yeah, well, that train is down in Baltimore,
It is in
and
Baltimore.
they're going to give it to them, and all we had to do was restore it. And they're going to take all the chemicals and stuff, like the PVCB, all that stuff. It's not going to be, and they want to take and put it down there down by the Codorus Creek, and they're going to have it lighted. They're going to make electrical lights with it. We've been talking about that a lot, so that's coming.
I remember attending some of those meetings, and I appreciated that because I think that's something that's good. It just adds to another memorial and another thing to see in the city.
But there's things that I saw that they could do. The other thing they should do here is along the Codorus Creek down here on Beaver Street, sort of maybe flatten out the land, let a lot of little franchise business with little carts and stuff, have that down there. Get people to license go
along the rail trail.
Yeah, because the Codorus ain't stinking like it was. They cleaned it up. It's still.
Yeah, it's improved.
It's actually got fish in it now. It's actually got fish in it now. So, but they could have a little thing for people to sit out there with their families and picnic and little grills and take and do it just like Harrisburg does it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I saw that. I said, "There's potential to bring people, bring them to the city, give them something to do." There's all sorts of things that I see they can bring this city up with and make it out. Now, and when I say that to some of the city council, they keep them out the ice skating ring. Hey, everybody's not going ice skating.
Right.
There's all these other people out of town. But anyway, I said, let the people come downtown. I would like to see downtown on the square a four-sided clock, like Harrisburg has it, Lancaster's got it. Well, a number of other little centers up here in Dallas-town's got the four-sided clock should be on the square where you can see it in all four directions. That looks so nice. If you've seen them. I know we got this one that Charlie Robinson got us the one down there, but Beaver.
Right, Beaver.
But we should have a
nice.
But we should have
nice
a foresight. It does so much the artistic style bring out the city.
Right.
Those things like that, and maybe put the franchises even on the square there.
What about the comfort stations?
What comfort station?
What comfort stations?
Yeah.
The underground restrooms at the square?
Oh,
How long you been in this city, Joe?
what's called, but they don't open them no more, do they?
Well, we got to get them open.
Yeah, I know.
We got to get these public restrooms open.
I'm using my comfort station.
They call them comfort stations. Don't ask me. I'll tell you, for anybody who has not seen it, anybody that doesn't know,